What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwanese medal hopeful Lin Yuting has passed her first big test in the boxing ring, but she's also having to reckon with scrutiny over her gender eligibility. Leslie Liao reports from Paris.
Taiwanese boxer Lin Yuting triumphed over Satora Turbakova of Uzbekistan last night in the 57-kilogram boxing category at the Olympics. Ling won by unanimous decision, but her stellar performance was overshadowed by a controversy which has dogged her since she arrived in Paris. To state the issue in its crudest terms, Ling is accused of being a man competing as a woman. Famous figures from writer J.K. Rowling to former U.S. President Donald Trump have spoken out against transgender women competing in sports, which they say is tantamount to letting a man beat a woman. Algerian boxer Iman Khalif has faced the same accusations, especially after her opening fight against Angela Carini of Italy lasted just 46 seconds. There's one big problem with those claims, though. Neither Ling or Khalif is transgender. Ling has lived as a woman her entire life, and her Taiwanese identity documents reflect that. Ling's Taiwanese ID number starts with 2, which means she was designated a female at birth. Now 28, she has competed for years as a woman, winning multiple golds at World Championship and Asian Championship levels. In 2022, she won gold at the Asian Games in Hangzhou, all without any questions over her gender. But last year, Ling was stripped of a World Championship bronze when the International Boxing Association said she failed a gender eligibility test. The IBA was not transparent about why Ling failed that test, and the International Olympic Committee later cleared both Ling and Khalif to compete in Paris. The IOC has also withdrawn its recognition of the IBA. But that hasn't stopped heated public debate. The Home Boxing Association of Iman Khalif's next opponent is formally protesting the Algerians' inclusion. There is the potential for Ling's opponents to do the same. Now, Lin Yuting is one of Taiwan's best boxers, and the country has rallied behind her. Former President Tsai Ing-wen and current President Lai Ching-te have all shown Ling their support. As one of Taiwan's big medal hopefuls, Ling now has the unexpected pressure of dodging her place in a global culture war, as well as her opponent's punches. Howard Zhang, Lian Lian, and Leslie Liao in Paris, France for TaiwanPlus.
Fans watching Taiwan compete in Paris had banners with the word Taiwan snatched away by staff and a fellow spectator. The incident happened during the badminton men's doubles semi-final with Taiwan's Tokyo Olympic champions Li Yang and Wang Qiling. Photos show staff snatching away a map and a green banner with Taiwan on it. Taiwan's representative office in France says that Taiwan's flag is indeed banned at the Games because the country competes under the name Chinese Taipei, but it says there are no clear bans on items with the word Taiwan on them. It says it's in touch with Olympic organizers and hopes similar items won't be seized again. The players, Li and Wang, won their match. They'll play in the final, hoping to win back-to-back Olympic golds. Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan faced some of the most severe flood damage after Typhoon Gaemi. Now the Premier has visited the city to see the damage. Tiffany Wong reports.
Digging through the rubble. Mud and rock from landslides filled this classroom in southern Taiwan over a meter high after Typhoon Gaemi struck at the end of July. Kaohsiung was badly affected by flooding, and repairs at this school are expected to cost over $600,000 US.
院长报告，这里就是直接的第一个攻击点。当时候是整间教室都大概1个人高的土石。
The school was in a hard-to-access mountainous area, and rubble took days to remove. Some pointed to outdated flood prevention procedures for the costly damage.
防洪的标准，我们希望说，在高雄的这些区域排水的这个部分可以提高。
A number of bridges in the area were also damaged, cutting off remote regions that are home to many indigenous people, prompting reminders that local infrastructure needs to be designed to withstand extreme weather events.
长达2公里的高架桥，然后在高度达到50米以上的高度 的状况下，未来在韧性计划的范围里面，应该是可以达到预期的效果。
Damage to schools and roads in Kaohsiung alone is expected to cost nearly $10 million. Premier Zhou Rongtai said there would be emergency funds for the city's relief efforts and a budget for future flood prevention measures. That says further heavy rainfall can be expected in the months ahead. Dolphine Chen and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's major stock index suffered its biggest ever sell-off on Friday, following on from a rout in US markets. The TAIEX dropped by 1,004 points, leaving it almost 11.5% off the all-time high reached in July. That included a 6% drop in the value of chip giant TSMC. Other major tech companies also came under pressure. Investors are beginning to temper their enthusiasm for the AI industry. Leading players like Nvidia and Microsoft also performed poorly in US markets. Vietnam's President To Lam has been given the country's most powerful position, the head of the ruling Communist Party. Lam took over interim duties after the former Communist Party chief died in July after 13 years in office. The party has ruled Vietnam for nearly half a century, and its leader plays a more prominent role than the president. Lam was appointed to the presidency in May, promising to fight against corruption. It's not yet clear whether he will continue in both roles. US Vice President Kamala Harris has secured enough votes from Democratic Party delegates to be their presidential nominee. Harris says she will officially accept the nomination next week after online voting ends. The party was quick to rally around Harris after President Joe Biden announced he would not seek a second term in November. She'll be the first woman of color at the top of a major US party ticket. Harris has already breathed new life into the Democratic campaign. She raised more than $300 million in donations in July, more than double that of Republican candidate Donald Trump. At the height of summer in Taiwan, the country marks the start of Ghost Month, when spirits of the dead are said to re-enter the world of the living. It's a time of year that brings with it a long list of taboos and superstitions. Louise has been finding out more.
We're at the start of the 7th month of the lunar calendar, and beginning tonight, for the rest of the month, the gates to the underworld are due to spill open, allowing the dead to roam the world of the living once again. No, it's not Halloween, but Ghost Month in Taiwan, an annual observance where restless spirits, among them vengeful, hungry ghosts, are believed to wander the land in search of food, fun, and, for the malevolent ones, an unwary soul to snare. In a culture where ancestor worship and respect for the dead is a big deal, Ghost Month brings with it a long list of taboos based on not causing offence to the visiting spectres. Things to avoid doing during Ghost Month include hanging out your laundry at nighttime, leaning up against walls, singing or whistling after dark, going swimming, getting your hair cut, moving house, or even getting married. Oh, and if you feel someone tap you on the shoulder, don't turn around. The list goes on. But do folks here really subscribe to these beliefs?
相信啊，暗时袂使披衫，伊会甲你摸啊，你唔知影烧转啊，咱会清啊，身体也不健康，也袂平安啦。
如果可以就是注意的话，我会注意到；但是如果必要的话，我还是就是尽量就是得按照去做这样。
Whether or not people believe in the superstitions of Ghost Month, going to the temple to pray or bye-bye is still a common practice in Taiwan, throughout the year and across generations. And here at this temple in Taipei, Xingtian Temple, people gather to get blessings from the gods and to ward off any invisible guests who might have taken a liking to them during the month of ghosts. Ryan Wu and Reese in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A DJ from Hualien is heading to Paris with Team Taiwan for the cultural counterpart to the Olympic Games. And as Yu Chen Lai reports, she's bringing her Indigenous roots with her.
an ode to her ancestors. Indigenous DJ Nungi Sapor is singing along with the melodies passed down to her through the generations. Her music combines traditional vocals with modern electronic beats. And this summer, she's taking her people's voices to Paris as part of a series of cultural performances held alongside the 2024 Olympic Games.
我会带我从以前采集的原住民的古调，尤其是因为我本身就是阿美族的，所以我会有很多阿美族古调。
The Amis is the largest indigenous group in Taiwan, and the red dress and embroidered patterns on Nungi's outfit are a nod to their traditional clothing. These melodies can be heard during major ceremonies like the annual Amis Harvest Days or when villages pray for rain. But they're also sung just for entertainment. For young Amis people, hearing these songs bring back memories of home.
就是可能想家啊，或者是有遇到什么样子的困难的时候会去听。
因为有时候听音乐可能就只是背景音乐，然后继续做事情。但是有时候当你做事情一直做着做，然后当听到古调出来，你就会这样子。
In several of her tracks, Nungi samples the voices of village elders. To young Amis people like Kating, hearing the song sung by their seniors feels like a blessing, connecting her to her people's history. But Nungi's music is also contemporary. She's part of a new generation of indigenous artists that's been experimenting with dynamic, popular styles.
我觉得原住民族是生活在现代的人，实际上是这样。那我们当然会有很多传承的文化，然后现在的音乐作品比较像是我对我自己的自身文化的表现嘛。对啊，这是超级自然的一种方法，每一个人都不一样哦。
Nungi's influences are also international. She's collaborated with indigenous performers from all over the world and says she'll be mixing new vocals collected in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada into her show in Paris. And while representing indigenous people at the Olympics is a form of recognition from the government, it doesn't resolve issues related to indigenous rights in Taiwan. Activists are still fighting for legal stewardship of what was traditionally indigenous land, and they're trying to stop the ongoing loss of indigenous languages and traditions.
就是当大家在巴黎听到台湾的原住民音乐，觉得哇，这个真的是太有台湾的特色了的时候，会有人去跟他们说，我们台湾原住民现在遇到的东西是什么。
For now, Nungi Sapor is focused on expressing herself on the global stage, and she's calling on indigenous youth around the world to join her.
希望大家都可以记得自己是谁啦，然后认同自己的文化，然后你们觉得这件事情是对你们来说是好的话，那也希望大家可以真的去发扬、去宣传自己的文化，因为毕竟原住民的文化真的是非常的美丽，也非常的国际，对。
Klein Wong and Yuchen Lai for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Do visit our TaiwanPlus website or follow social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of pin traders and collectors from around the world engaging in what many call an unofficial Olympic sport in Paris. I'm Louise Watt. Take care. We'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, follow Taiwan Plus News on social media.